Guys, if you're not watching NBA Summer League, you better turn that shit on right now. Because what I've just seen from the OKC Thunder was something out of a movie. Thunderstruck, to be exact. Because not only is there a new up-and-coming star in the NBA who plays like Durant, but the dude got drafted by the Thunder of all teams. Talk about full circle. Anyway, this mystery man that I'm speaking of is Chet the Jet Holmgren, if you haven't connected the dots at this point. The dude is coming off a really good year in Gonzaga, where they made a deep run in March Madness. Couldn't finish, but so can't most men. And during the college season, Chet went ahead and averaged 14 points, 10 rebounds, and basically 4 blocks. Nah, I don't think you heard me. I said he averaged nearly 4 blocks. That's absolutely mind-boggling, Brody. Which I guess makes sense since the dude is not a human being. I mean, he's 7'1". You can't call that human. He has super genetics. Well, so do a majority of NBA players, but besides the point. I mean, let's also mention the fact that the dude is very durable for only weighing 194 pounds and being 7'1". Chet literally played 31 out of the 32 games during that season for Gonzaga. So the dude may appear skinny or scrawny, but he can battle with the best of them. Like, guess who? That's right, Kevin Durant. And after this beautiful season at Gonzaga, Chet Holmgren went ahead into the draft looking to be a top 3 pick, with other prospects like Paolo Banchero and Jabari Smith Jr. also contending for that top 3 spot. And after getting passed on by the Magic with the first pick, Holmgren would fall into the lap of the Thunder with the second pick, just like Kevin Durant, when he fell into the Seattle Sonics lap, aka Thunder, in 2007, after Portland would draft Greg the Egg Oden with the first pick. And so KD, Chet, both second overall picks. I mean, talk about coincidence. Like, if Chet isn't a carbon copy cutout of Kevin Durant, then nobody is. But the teammates that they have at the beginning of their career, NBA career to be exact, is where things change for them. Because while Kevin Durant was gifted Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, and James Harden at the beginning of his career, the most they did was accomplish one run at the NBA Finals, where they got beat up by LeBron and the Heat in 5 games. Talk about the most disappointing potential ever. Like, there was so much there. They literally had 3 MVPs on one team, and yet no rings? How? And the one difference I see with this new Thunder, aka Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous, and Chet Holmgren, I'm calling them the new Thunder because I see them as the next big 3 of the NBA. Give them like 5 to 10 years and they'll be taking over this league. Anyway, the one difference I see in this new Thunder that wasn't there with the Kevin Durant-led Thunder is the sense of friendship and team bonding between the players. Because I just listened to JJ Redick's podcast where Kendrick Perkins was the guest. And while on the podcast, Big Perk talked about his time in OKC and how the team was very cliquey in the sense that Westbrook had his group of teammates that he was cool with, and how Kevin Durant just kind of isolated himself from the squad, especially on the road. Now remember, this is not made up. All of this came from the mouth of Kendrick Perkins, so don't sue me. You can fact check me. Go to JJ Redick's podcast. It's actually really good. But besides the point. Anyway, while the old Thunder had major chemistry issues, I feel like this new group of guys has a connection and vibe of a championship team. In fact, after Chet Holmgren's very first Summer League game, which we will talk about in a bit, some ESPN reporter, I think Malika Andrews, I can't remember, it was a few days ago. Anyway, some ESPN reporter asked him for a post-game interview. And Chet Holmgren said the only way he would do the interview was if Josh Giddey was with him. Which is really some true homie shit. And that's crazy because they've only been teammates for a couple weeks at this point. Okay, let's get to the reason the video was even created, thought of in my brain in the first place. which was because of how Chet performed versus the Jazz G League affiliates in his kind of first NBA experience, where he scored a nice 23 points, dropped 4 assists, and a Summer League record 6 blocks. His performance was nothing short of a spectacle to the human eye. And not only that, but the Thunderstar was also able to shoot 4 from 6 from beyond the arc. Yeah, he's kinda overpowered like that. I mean, a freakishly large human who can shoot from deep? Talk about unstoppable. Unless you account for his one and only weakness, which many consider to be the dude's strength, which is annoying as hell to hear, because he can play basketball at an elite level and is great on the court, yet the only thing anyone seems to talk about is how the guy needs to bulk up. And it's like, yeah, no shit, he needs to bulk up, but you can't expect him to just get big and strong overnight. God, it's like no one remembers how Giannis was coming into the league. Sure, he wasn't the number 2 overall pick and more of a project overseas type player, but I mean, the dude was real scrawny, and all he needed was a few years of training and lifting, and he got big. And now he's an Oreo-loving Giga Chad with a ring. I'm just so tired of all these fucking losers on ESPN talking about how Holmgren needs to get big and strong. Don't you think he already knows that? Like, a way to state the obvious. This isn't a freaking Hotels.com commercial. Don't need to be that guy. Dude is the number 2 pick in the NBA. He has all the equipment and money and trainers and people around him that he needs to get big and strong. It's like, what these guys fail to understand is that it's a process. But whatever. I guess ESPN will find any small flaw or detail to hate on an athlete, just for the views. But you know what, I'm going to save the rant on why ESPN sucks for a later time. Because trust me, there are so many things wrong with the media and the hate they spew. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about with KD and how Chet Holmgren going to be the next KD. Because it's facts. Deuces. Boom.